Alright you guys, so I wanted to make a video today on how to get your hair past the awkward stage. I'm trying to grow my hair out to shoulder length, and I've been noticing the past few weeks that I don't know what to do with it anymore. And I've been looking all over YouTube to find videos or tutorials or anything on how to grow out your hair. And all I've really found is how to grow out your hair more quickly. So what I'm going to show you is pictures on how to get your hair cut and slowly groom it as it grows out so it looks okay, and how to style it, and even some of the products to use. So as you grow it out, you'll probably be starting with a hairstyle similar to what this guy has. It's short and typical, a lot of people have it. So what you want to do is you want to get the sides short and the top long. You probably want to get about 3 to 4 inches on top before you start growing out the sides and the back. As you grow it out, you don't want to have anything like Macklemore, like don't shave the sides and have the top long, because that sucks to grow out and it's hard. You want to make sure you have something that's like completely blended on all sides. And as some people grow out their hair, they don't like their hair because it makes them feel more feminine with like longer hair. So you could always grow a beard. That's always an option. I mean, if you look at Ryan Gosling, like he's an alright looking guy, and then if you add the facial hair, I think he looks even better. Same thing with David Beckham. With the facial hair, I think he just looks a bit more attractive and more manly. You could always go as far as this dude and add like a beard that's like a freaking beast, but it's not necessary. Just do whatever you feel like. So you'll want your hair to look like this guy's. You'll notice that his hair tapers from short to long as it gets towards the top. And you're wanting the top long for 2 reasons. The first reason is that the part of your hair that has to travel the greatest distance is the top of your hair in order to reach the ponytail. The second reason is that a lot of people complain about the sides sticking out too much or looking too long. As the top grows out and is longer than the sides, it will look better in proportion. Once you get your hair to about this point, you can let it start to grow out. You can grow out the sides and the back. You want to keep the sides just a little bit longer, but you'll probably want to keep trimming it around your ears for at least a few times. If your hair doesn't go back like this, guys, you can always just push it off to the side like this guy. And you can do the same thing if you have a widow's peak, just like Chris Hemsworth does. Alright, so here's a picture of a guy that I found online that I really like. He has some curly wavy hair, but it looks like he's obviously used products. And using products or not using products can really make a huge difference. You could either look like this guy, or you could look like Michael Cera from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And his hair is just crazy, frizzy, and unruly. So that's why you'd want to use some products. Some products that I would recommend are Slept In by the Sexy line or Curling Cream by the Sexy line. And both of them help to give texture and a little bit of hold. Slept In will give you a little bit more hold if that's what you're looking for. This next guy, his hair is really crazy on one side. It looks like it just curls and flips out. And if you have something like that, you could either use a stronger product like pomade, which can really slick your hair down, but it's more like a wet look, and you may or may not be wanting that. You could also try combing your hair in a different way. If you just comb your hair to the side, that might make it flip out, but if you're to comb it back and forward, it might change the flip. So just experiment with your hair and hopefully that will work out. And this last guy, it's just another example of what to do if your hair is a little bit straighter. Just kind of a little part and then push to the side. Alright, so I'm just going to show a few pictures of what your hair can look like at around that length. And they're slightly different, but they're all pretty much similar, so I'll just let you check those out. Once you've gotten your hair this far, you're pretty much set. All you have to do is just not cut it. You've gotten this far, might as well go the rest of the way. So at this point, it gets pretty easy because your bangs, you can tuck them behind your ears. You can probably pull most of your hair back in a ponytail. And hairstyling is just way easy. Once you've gotten your hair to the length that you want, there's some things that you're gonna have to decide. you're gonna have to decide if you like the way your hair looks right now, or if you want to add layers in it, or if you want to get rid of all layers and have it just one length, if you want to have a little bit of face framing in the front, or if you want to have it thinned out. I don't know, it just depends. You should have a picture in mind of what you're going for. That way the person who's cutting your hair can help you out and cut it that way so that your hair will look like what you want. When you finally get your hair to the length that you want, you'll have to decide how you want to style it each day. And there are actually quite a few ways that you can style it, which is cool because as a guy you wouldn't expect to have that many options. One of the ways that you can do it is just to style it down and to part it slightly off center. And this works whether your hair is straight, whether it's wavy, or whether it's curly. Another way to do it is to have more of a surfer look, like this guy. And you can do that by not washing your hair that much. Not too hard. The next one is just a style where you just toss it to the right or to the left. And I think this is my personal favorite, at least for a style that's left down. For updos, this is an option to have a man bun. And this guy has one that's really clean, so it'd be more acceptable for a work environment. While the next guy's has one that is kind of messy, so probably not the best for a work situation. You could also just pull up the top half of your hair and put it into a bun, which is kind of interesting. For ponytails, you always have the option of doing the loop ponytail, which looks pretty good, and it works because it gets the hair off of your neck. It pulls it up a little bit higher. You could also do this type of ponytail, which is kind of strange, but if you really need a sleek look, this is always an option. And last but not least, you could shave one side of your head like Skrillex. It's probably not what you wanted to do, but hey, it's an option. Now you'll actually have to start thinking of trimming your hair, and you should have been doing that along the way, but you'll definitely have to get regular trims on your hair. Because you know how you'll hear girls complain about split ends. Those are actually a thing, they do happen, and in order for your hair to look good, you'll have to keep on trimming it, because nobody wants crappy hair if it's going to be long. Now that we've gone through how to grow out your hair and how to get it cut, I want to give you some tips on how to grow out your hair quicker and to deal with it. So one of the things that you should know is that everything that's good for your body is good for your hair. So general nutrition, if you're eating healthy foods like fruits and vegetables and things like that, that'll help speed up your hair growth. Also having foods with protein, that definitely helps speed up your hair growth, makes it thicker. And then drinking water and going to sleep, getting enough sleep consistently will help you grow out your hair. Another thing that can help is a pill called biotin, and it's something for your hair, skin, and nails. You'll probably hear that girls take it a lot to help their hair grow better, and that's always an option. And another thing that you can do is do the oil treatment. And the oil treatment is something where you have to get specific types of oil and you massage your head for like 5 minutes, and I'll put a link in the description and it explains how to go through that process and how often to do it. And it's supposed to speed up your hair growth, so might as well try it out. Another thing that people tend to get annoyed with while they're growing their hair out is that it gets in their face all the time. So what you can do with that is obviously you can wear one of these, a beanie. Not too hard, pretty simple. All you have to do is put it on. And then same thing with a bandana. Those are pretty simple, you just have to tie them on, but that's another way to keep your hair out of your face. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and hopefully it helps you guys in your journey to grow out your hair. And thanks for liking and commenting. If you have any questions, just leave them down in the comment section and I will answer them the best that I can. And you guys have a great day.